3, 2, 1. One take, Rob. Let's go. Yo, guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and we are going to be going over the best free decks for you guys to get, for you returning players or for you new players. The criteria in order to obtain these free decks is one of two things. Your account has to be new. You're brand new to Hearthstone. Welcome, welcome. Glad you made it here. And the other criteria is you haven't logged into Hearthstone in the past 120 days. And then once of those two things are being met, when you log on, play the game, you'll be offered one of these new free decks, or pre-built decks, and we'll go through all the decks with all the classes. We'll talk about them, what synergies they have, what's useful, what's not, some new cards, and then from there you'll come to a decision on which one is best for you. Obviously there's going to be some of the better decks and then some of the worst decks, and that's what we're going to cover here, so enjoy. Let's take a look at Demon Hunters. So this is Field of Strife. This is Field of Strife Demon Hunter. It is looking like a token Demon Hunter. Given that it runs like Battle Fiend, Feast of Souls. Let's take a, yeah, this is definitely a, what looks to be pretty terrible deck all around. Some key cards though. Yeah, I would not build this deck. You do get Kurtrus, which is really good. You get Kurt, which isn't really played in any decks, and you get Giant, which isn't really played in any decks. So I can't say that this is a great deck, nor do you need many of these cards for the other decks that are floating around. Given that Fel DH and Token DH are picking up steam right now in the meta, I wouldn't craft this deck to get the pieces for those, because those other decks, there's not a lot of common cards in relation to them. Like, you'll need Kurt, but like, I wouldn't, yeah, I'm just going to skip this. This is just not even something you want. If you like DH, you're better off just like getting a different deck and then just crafting other DH cards. You don't need any of that. Let's take a look at Druid. Mulvric's Fleet. This is looking like a token aggressive style Druid, given the fact that it has Oracle, Wing Commander, and Cornelius. Let's take a look here. We got, yeah, this is very aggressive. We got Compositing, which is a good epic card. We got Oracle, which is a great epic card. Frost Saver, which is good. So yeah, this is looking like a more aggressive style token Druid here. Very similar. There's a lot of great budget options in regards to Druid, especially token based ones. We're actually working on posting a few of the budget Druid decks, and if there's a lot of renditions of the deck that are budget, I wouldn't, again, use your free deck to craft these, because these two legendaries you're not going to play. And if you're going to make a free deck, you want to make sure you're getting kind of like the best value out of the legendary deck that you're getting. So whether it be like a neutral legendary that's better than Cornelius, or like a class legendary that fits into like multiple decks of that class, like previously Kurtrus goes into basically every Demon Hunter deck, but this is just not a strong deck he's in. So like, while he's a good pick, this isn't a good deck, and while this is a good deck, these aren't good picks. So I wouldn't necessarily go and craft this Druid deck either, because you could just craft this deck budget based anyway, and you would, it just seems like it'd be a waste to get free legendaries, right? What's going on? Appreciate you watching. If you do like the content and you like the channel, be sure to drop that sub. Leave a like and a comment on the videos that you do like. It really helps the channel out, shows it to more people, keeps it growing, and allows me to keep doing this as my job. And if not, that's okay too. I'll see you at the next McDonald's drive-thru. The next deck we're going to take a look at is Hunter Take the Valley. This is looking like a big Hunter deck. Let's take a look, see here. We got some traps, we got some tracking, wound prey. We also have Cloaked Huntress, which makes your secrets cost 0. So yeah, this looks like a, yeah, this is looking like a beast secret hunter. It runs Wing Commander with King Crush. Again, Beast Stalker, fantastic legendary. King Crush, also a pretty good legendary in himself. Wing Commander is more of a meme legendary, but you don't necessarily need him. I would say this is one of the better decks that we've gone over here. I know it looks kind of memey, guys, but like, we played Beast Hunter earlier and we really smashed with it. We think about like 6-2 with it. And it does have a lot of these cards in it. But again, if you're a fan of Hunter, you love Beasts, then obviously this is a great choice. The cards in here are very good, but if you're just looking to get into the game and get the most bang for your buck, I would not say this is the deck either. Not yet. Maybe we'll get there. We have more decks to cover. Mage, the Magical Mystery. All right, this has some really good. Caligos is fantastic. Dawngrasp is huge. And the Stonehearth is actually a really fun, she's decent, not the greatest. She goes into a fun mage deck. And all of these are good legendaries. So this is a good start. And this looks like it's going to be a big spell mage. So what are we getting here that's kind of expensive? The Clumsy Courier, really only in Big Spell Mage, 1 Mass Polymorph, Rune of the Archmage, which is pretty juicer. Got some Dragonfire. Yeah, so if you're big into big spells, big minions, big giant turns, this is looking like a pretty good deck. Again, you get 3 really good legendaries, and Kalagos and Dawngrass can go into other good mage decks too. Some popular mage deck right now are the Naga Mage, which this deck doesn't have a lot of synergy. I wouldn't say synergies, but overlapping cards with Naga Mage. But this still looks like a very fun deck that could do fairly well for a new player coming in. And it'd also be a ton of fun, right? So far, Mage is a great pick in my opinion, just based off my play style and what I like and the memes that I like to bring. So yeah, this seems good. This seems all right so far. Looking at Paladin's looking pretty slick. You got Ice Lord, Ragnaros, the Light Lord, and Cariel. These are kind of huge, and this is probably going to be some sort of like buff big Paladin. Let's take a look see here. Yes, this is a buff big Paladin. While this deck may be fun, this is probably one of the worst decks you could possibly play. So you get Lightforge, which is really nice. She's really, really good and found in basically every single Paladin deck that you're going to play. But again, I wouldn't craft a deck because you get 1 legendary that's good. All right, Paladin, that's just not it, chat. Priests. All right, Death Rattle Disciples. So obviously a Death Rattle Priest. We're going to get Condemn. It's a good AoE spell. Korg. Not really good. Zorelia is really good, but not really. Priest is pretty bad right now. And the other Zorelia is good as well. So, yeah. This seems like this is going to be a very control-based deck here, guys. Very control, very slow. Very good against aggressive style decks. If you like Priest, obviously it's a great pick as well. This is the strongest control deck that we've seen out of the picks so far. If you're looking for a strictly a nice grindy control based deck, and again, a lot of these cards in this deck are found in other priest builds. Zorelia, Void Shard, Nether Drake is huge. Condemn, Thrive in the Shadows. There's a lot of stuff in here that most priest decks do play. So if you're a control player, that's a pretty good pick as well. Looking at Rogue now, Identity Theft Rogue. Normally, Thief style decks in Rogue are kind of memey, kind of hit or miss, right? You generate some really good stuff, you high roll, you do well. You generate some really bad stuff, you don't do very well. Especially when cards in the deck say like replay every card from another class you played, targets chosen randomly. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for some wild games, you're looking for a little bit of a meminess, this is probably a good pick for you. Gonna be one of the, I would have to say, one of the least of the strong decks that we've covered, but you do get 4 legendaries out of this deck. You get the Maestra, you get Van Cleef, you get Fleet Runner. Oh, you actually get 5. You get 5 legendaries in this. So you get Scabs and you get Tess. So this seems pretty good. And somebody had mentioned earlier that I'm pretty sure Tess is free, right? And you had mentioned Kalagos is free. So if, yeah. So if Kalagos is actually free with the core set and Tess is free with the core set, then it does reduce how good that mage deck is, because you're getting a decent, like, you're not getting as much value, right? So there are some legendaries that are part of the core set right now, like Chad had mentioned, like Kalagos, which I didn't even think about, right? Vanessa is also free. Yeah, so there's a couple cards that are going to be free. I would make sure to check those out in the core set. But either way, this is not going to be the most powerful deck. Thief Rogue's generally not. It was before it got nerfed, and it's still nerfed. So, kind of a meme deck. If you like Thief decks, you like stealing your opponent's cards and using them and doing crazy shit. Again, not so powerful. This is definitely a fun deck. Definitely fun. All right, looking at Shaman, I think this is probably going to be one of the strongest that we cover, right? So this is going to be a free Shaman just based off, it's called Frostbites. Wind Chill, Frostbite, yeah, Maelstrom, Portal, Sleep, Brilliant McCall. So in regards to epics, we got Snowbolt, which is great. Snowball Fight, not so great, but fun card. Farsight. We've got the Bear, and we got Brocon. Any deck that has this Snowfall Guardian in it is pretty good. It has Wild Power Caverns, which is fantastic. Yeah, so this is a control free Shaman deck. Right now, freeze mechanic is really, really good in Hearthstone. They built this probably one of the worst possible ways I think it could be built. because they obviously don't want to give you like a tier 1 deck. Burn Shaman right now, which is very close to this build here. It's probably about 5 to 8 cards off of this list, is probably one of the strongest decks in the game right now, right? So, oh, it actually does run the McCall. I didn't see him over here. Okay, it does run. This has the McCall in it. Okay, so this deck is, yeah, this deck is really good. This is probably one of the strongest decks that we've seen here. It's probably the strongest deck. There are a couple cards in here that aren't so strong, but this is a very strong deck. Freeze mechanics are very good right now, and if you're looking to build yourself a solid like control deck, it can go into a burn deck, which can go into like a multi-caster craziness totem shit. This is a decent start right here. So Shaman's looking real good, and then Mage also look pretty sweet as well. All right, let's look at Warlock here. We got Fuel the Fellfire Warlock. I'm seeing Lord Drax's. What is this? What is this? This looks like it's a handlock, a fell handlock. Yeah, this thing's looking like a hot pile of shit. Yeah, this is, yeah, you don't want this, chat. Yeah, you don't. All right, so let's just, Fell Warlock doesn't exist. Curse Warlock is bad. Quest Warlock, no one plays. Zoo Warlock, no one plays. The only Murloc that I've seen this entire expansion has been Murloc Warlock, and this has no Murlocs in it. So I would not vote for this deck at all. There's nothing in here that I think you need. However, it does run Tamsin, and she's huge. She's probably one of the best Warlock legendaries, but I don't think you would create this deck to get her. And also it does have Tamsin in here, which is found. So you do get 2 legendaries that are really good for Warlock. So if you're interested in playing Warlock, right? You like all, like you're a control Warlock player, a handlock player, that you could craft this and get a lot of the like cards, like the legendaries that you would need for those decks. But if you're looking for out of the gate, like I would not recommend this Warlock deck unless you're specifically trying to build Warlock decks, and this is going to give you a decent amount of legendaries and epics. Like Entitled Customer is really good, and so is Twisting Nether. So if like you're a Warlock main, want to play some Warlock, you get 2 legendaries and a couple epics that you'll need, like, and Drain Souls and stuff. This is not too bad if you're interested in playing Warlock, but this build is not it. Let's take a look at Warrior. All right, for the Horrid, this is looking like an OTK Warrior, which is interesting that they would put an OTK Warrior deck for a beginner player to use, because this is going to be this is going to be a really good deck, chat. This is going to be a good deck, but this is going to be probably the hardest deck that we're covering here. So the combo in this deck is you go to the front. This is 2 mana. Your minions cost 2 less. They don't cost less than 1. And then you have to have this Battlegrounds Master in a hand, Faceless Manipulator, and then the Captain. And then you basically, to the front, you play Captain. He's a 6 mana 9/9 charge. You play the Battlegrounds Master. It gives him Wind Fury, so he does 18 damage. And then you'd Faceless Manipulator your Captain to make you have 2 Captains that both do 18 damage each for a total of a 36 damage combo. The thing is, this entire deck revolves around doing that to win. You do have a lot of control aspects in the deck, such as like Brawl and Rancor, which are epic cards that are found in every control deck for Warrior right now, along with Frozen Buckler, Shield Slam, Shield Slider. There's a lot of really good Warrior cards in here, but this is a very hard deck to use. So if you're interested in a challenge, you like Warrior, you want some good cards, Rock Thera is really good. This is most of the stuff that you would need for Control Warrior anyway. I think this is a fantastic pick if you've played Hearthstone before or another card game and you're looking for a good OTK deck. This is a good one. This is a banger right here. And that's all the decks. So basically we brought it back down to Warrior is good, Shaman is good, Priest is good if you like Control, and then Hunter and Mage also looked pretty decent. Druid, absolutely not. Demon Hunter, absolutely not. Paladin, absolutely not. Rogue, if you're wanting some spicy ass crazy shit, and then Warlock specifically if you're looking for certain things. So yeah, hopefully you guys can gather some information from this, make the right choice for you, and let me know how the deck feels. Let me know if you want to add anything, if I happen to miss anything that you want to, you know, tap on there at the end of the comment section below. Feel free to do that. Good luck in your games. Welcome to Hearthstone, and enjoy. I forgot I'm Rob, and happy whatever the hell day it is. Can't believe I forgot that.